be the best, you gotta beat the best. So bring it, baby.
You are looking live at the Barclay Center in my hometown of Brooklyn, New York, where the fans are out here for the big weigh-in for tomorrow night's gigantic boxing show on Showtime. It's a public weigh-in. The fans are here. And hello, everybody. I'm Steve Farhood. Welcome to the Barclay Center. Welcome to Showtime. Tomorrow night, a big boxing doubleheader on Showtime. It'll start with Peter Quillin defending his WBO middleweight title against Fernando Guerrero, and then the main event, Philly versus New York. Danny Garcia, who holds 2 belts at 140 pounds, defends against former world champion Zab Judah. We're going to have the weigh-ins and interviews right here on this show stream, and also we're going to have some still photos of the weigh-in that happened earlier today in England for the big junior welterweight fight between Amir Khan and Julio Diaz. That fight will be shown on Showtime as well. The Guerrero, Quillin, and Garcia-Judah fights will be 9 Eastern. Following that, a special edition of Showtime Championship Boxing with the Amir Khan, Julio Diaz Jr. welterweight fight. So this is the second weekend of a big 3-weekend stretch on Showtime Championship Boxing. Last weekend in San Antonio, Texas, 40,000 people at the Alamo Dome to see Canelo Alvarez defeat Austin Trout by unanimous decision. That was a fantastic show on Showtime Championship Boxing. Tomorrow night, leg number 2. We'll see Danny Garcia defending his junior welterweight title against Zab Judah. And then next weekend on Showtime pay-per-view, the big one on May 4th, Floyd Mayweather defending his welterweight title against Robert Guerrero. But back to this weekend. It all starts tomorrow. On CBS at 8 o'clock, you'll see a documentary you don't want to miss called Mayweather, a look at the pound-for-pound king of boxing. That's at 8 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, we'll go to Showtime Championship Boxing, Peter Quillin defending against Fernando Guerrero, and then, of course, Danny Garcia, junior welterweight champion, defending his title against Zab Judah. So there's been a lot of bad blood. It's one of the reasons so many fans are out here. A lot of bad blood between Zab Judah and Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia's father has gotten into it. It's been a very emotionally and electric week here in Brooklyn, emotionally charged. So let's go back to last December when they first had their press conference and the bad blood began to flow.
I ain't trying to hurt your feelings, but no, but listen to this. I say Zach go down in 4 or 5 county, cause that's a 4-round fight. He knows that.
I got one knock out, he got.
Don't matter, dog. Don't matter.
I didn't expect that. I never had nobody stand up and do that, you know what I mean? So I was kind of shocked.
You gotta understand this too, that you're fighting my son. You're fighting somebody I love. So I'm not gonna be lovey-dovey with you. I'm gonna tell you what you are. Zab and all these other fighters, they had their time. It's a new era of fighters. This is a new generation.
He was talking like a fighter. He was talking like a fighter. So I was like, okay, this is what you want to do? Come on then.
You ain't ready. WBC, WBA, still going.
But you know, some guys are for TV, you know what I'm saying?
People think he acts for the camera, but it's just what he is. He does the talking, I do the fighting.
So Zab get all angry, start cursing and everything. He's all mad about it. Like, the truth hurts, buddy. Your time was over.
No matter what they keep saying, Zab Judah's still here.
I'm not gonna sit here and brag about Danny or nothing like that because I know what Danny could do.
Yeah, I mean, Danny Garcia, you know what I'm saying? You watch him, he's a flat-footed fighter.
He's gonna be in our boxing easy and just move around all night.
I go in there, you flat-footed,
You're gonna be laid out flat. I'm flat-footed, but you're gonna be laid out flat.
It's gonna be the knockout of the year and it's gonna be the first fight of the year. It's gonna last the whole year.
And when Danny looks at me and tell me, "Pa, I'm gonna knock him out," he's gonna knock him out.
Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'll never get the opportunity of fighting Angel Garcia. And to watch him come in the ring and pick up his son, that's satisfaction to me.
Steve Farhood once again at the Barclay Center. We're here for the show stream of the weigh-in for tomorrow night's big junior welterweight title fight between Danny Garcia and Zab Judah. Forgot for a minute. Let's bring in a special guest because Danny Garcia is from Philadelphia. Zab Judah is from Brooklyn. There's a little bit of a Philly-New York rivalry, and I think this guy knows a little bit something about that. Bernard Hopkins, the best older fighter in the world, and Zab Judah is 35 years old.
Yes.
How much of a factor is that for Zab that he's 35? Because you're 48, correct?
Yes.
What does that mean? Absolutely nothing in your career. What about Zab's case?
Well, for me, it means absolutely nothing, but I still get reminded every now and then that I'm 48 years old, believe it or not. But Zab is 35, and you know, Zab is an experienced 35 who's been at the championship level. Also, he fought, his resume of who he fought, and over the years is hands down to Garcia's record, Danny Garcia, that is. But you know, we're in Brooklyn, and you're fighting Zab Judah. You have to give Zab Judah a chance based on experience and based on his new attitude, how he feel in his personal life that he spoke loudly about, and also in his professional life. And you know, it won't be an easy fight for Danny Garcia. Styles always make a great fight. And you know what? Zab Judah has a style, and Garcia, Danny that is, has a style that makes a lot of great music. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to enjoy it along with yourself come Saturday. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Bernard, it's a Philly fighter against a New York fighter. Obviously, you've come to symbolize Philly fighters for this generation. Is there a rivalry there, or are we just making too much of that?
There's always a rival. Are you kidding me? When the Giants play the Eagles, I mean, I'm throwing things at the Giants. Hopefully nobody hurt.
I'm a Giant fan. Watch what you say.
Okay. But, yeah, it is. Listen, the Phillies, the Yankees, the Eagles, the Giants, the fighters, Philly, New York, there's always a rival because we're talking about two big cities. When you have two big cities that, you know, want they and have their own identity. I mean, we got the Rocky, we got the blue-collar type of mentality. You know, so do New York. Yes, New York is so big they had to name it twice, but at the end, there's a big rival, Steve, big rival.
Bernard, let me ask you this. There's been a lot of emotion spent this week, especially by Zab Judah.
Yes.
I saw you at the press conference yesterday, and you said to Zab, why are you wasting all this energy? Is that just his way of fueling himself, or do you feel that all this energy actually that he's used could come back to hurt him tomorrow night?
Well, I think both. I think one is you arguing with the workers and employees of Golden Boy Promotion, and also the president, Oscar De La Hoya. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, don't speak your mind no matter who it is, but this ain't the right time. And the right time is win Saturday, fight Saturday. If that's what you know you're going to do and you want to do it, then preserve yourself and say your piece. And then move on to the press conference. I'm glad Zab came back because I think he's giving himself a really a bad conversation through some media and some people by not coming back. But he was a man to come back to say, look, the reason I left because of this, the reason I left because of that. And you know what? I felt for him for half of those reasons. You know, nobody's mother, father in their town, New York, Brooklyn, should be outside and can't come in. And he says he allegedly was down in the basement since 11:30.
Right.
So, yes, it was some misunderstanding on where and this and that. But at the end of the day, Oscar and I had nothing to do with that. We up here running these things, doing these interviews. And you know what? At the end of the day, no matter how he felt then, he get a chance to do what, Steve? What we've been watching for boxing for many years. It all means something or nothing come this Saturday night on Showtime, where you have two guys coming together wanting to prove that they deserve to be the champion. One saying that they deserve to stay the champion, and one is saying that they deserve to be the champion.
Bernard Hopkins, we appreciate it. We'll see you at the fight.
Always good, Steve.
All righty. I know we're getting ready to weigh in the fighters, so let's begin the festivities here by throwing it to the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you, and we welcome you to Barclay Center here in Brooklyn, New York, for our official weigh-in for a big fight night of action coming your way Saturday night. We're going to begin our weigh-in with our opening telecast on Showtime Championship Boxing. 12 rounds of action for the WBO Middleweight Championship of the World. And at this time, we invite to the stage. He is ranked the challenger by the WBO number 9 contender in the world with a record of 25 wins, 1 loss, 19 wins, coming by way of knockout from Maryland by way of the Dominican Republic. Please welcome the challenger, Fernando Guerrero. And at this time, we invite to the stage his opponent, the defending world champion. Undefeated at 28-0 with 20 wins coming by way of knockout. He'll be making the first defense of his title. Here is the WBO middleweight champion of the world, known as Kid Chocolate, from Brooklyn, Peter Quillin.
And here comes the commissioner. Once again, we're here live at the Barclay Center in Brooklyn, New York for tomorrow night's big doubleheader on Showtime Championship Boxing, 9 Eastern. And the first fight you'll see is WBO middleweight champion Peter Quillin defending against the once beaten Fernando Guerrero. All right, here we go. Chairwoman Melvina Lathan of the New York State Athletic Commission will oversee the weighing in process.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, ready to step onto the scale. Once again, here is the defending champion, Kid Chocolate, Peter Quillin. Peter Quillin weighs in at 161.5 pounds. Of course, that is over the 160-pound limit. My understanding, he'll have a couple of hours to take that weight off. He'll return. He has 1 hour, as informed to me by the New York State Athletic Commission, to return and make that 160-pound weight limit. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Kid Chocolate, Peter Quillin.
All right, so Peter Quillin weighs 1.5 pounds
and now,
over.
ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to weigh in the challenger. Once again, ranked the number 9 contender, Fernando Guerrero.
Now, Guerrero knows that his opponent, the champion, did not make weight. 1 hour, Peter Quillin will have to take off 1.5 pounds if he wants to keep the title. Otherwise, he'll lose it on the scales. Now for Guerrero.
Fernando Guerrero weighs in at 160.4 pounds. He also is slightly over the weight limit. And once again, like his opponent Peter Quillin, he has 1 hour in order to make that 160-pound weight limit, losing 0.4 of a pound.
So big news here at the Barclay Center, the weigh-in for this middleweight title fight. Both fighters, Guerrero about a half pound over.
New York State Athletic Commission,
Let's
at
listen to
210, they will need to come back and make that 160-pound weight limit.
So Fernando Guerrero, 160.4. He has 0.5 pound to take off. He only has an hour to do it. More importantly, Peter Quillin has 1.5 pounds to take off. He came in at 161.5. What happens if Quillin is not able to make the weight as the champion? In that hour, he'll come back and weigh in at 210. What happens is they would fight, and if Guerrero wins, he wins the title. If Quillin wins, the title is vacant. So Peter Quillin would lose the title before the fight even takes place. We'll see how that takes shape. And in terms of the weigh-in, the re-weigh-in at 210, stay on Showtime's website, and you'll find out more information on how this all plays out. Very intriguing as we take a look at the
and there they are, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of action for the WBO Middleweight Championship of the World. Kid Chocolate Peter Quillin versus Fernando Guerrero.
All right, we're going to talk to Peter Quillin. Let him get dressed here. Pound and a half over. When was the first sign that this was going to be an issue?
Today at the before the fighters meeting, I just knew it was like something that I was had to work out. I'm it's 8 years of durability on your body, training hard, preparation like a professional athlete. Sometimes the weight could be an issue, but it's all about making the camp better for the next time.
Now, what do you do in the next hour? You have an hour to take off a pound and a half. I'm sure your body has reduced already. How hard is it going to be, and what are you going to do to try to take the weight off?
Well, I was still sweating up until coming here, so I know I got a little bit of more water in my body. Just get it off, make the weight, and then go enjoy myself and eat and get my energy back.
And I'm sure the last thing you want, Kid Chocolate, is to lose the title on the scale. So you're going to do everything you can to take off the pound and a half.
But of course, I got so many people behind me and support me that it's about not letting myself down first and not letting them down as well.
Well, Kid Chocolate, you have about an hour. The longer we talk to you, the less time you have to go make weight, so go make weight.
Well, one thing I definitely don't feel bad. My opponent came in overweight too, so, makes it seem like he looks like he's in good shape. I'm in good shape. We make the weight, and then we put on a good fight. That's what's important.
So Peter Quillin may run into Fernando Guerrero in the sauna. They may be sharing a sauna. Good luck to you, and I hope it all works out.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it.
Okay, so once again, Peter Quillin, 161.5, has 1 hour to take off a pound and a half. How difficult that'll be, only he knows, but he has to take it off if he's going to keep his title. Again, if he doesn't take it off and the fight continues, Guerrero can win the title with a victory. If Quillin wins, the title would become vacant. That's a WBO middleweight title. And I guess now we're waiting for the main event weigh-in, Danny Garcia and Zab Judah. That'll be next. All right, I believe we're ready to go back to Jimmy Lennon. We thought we were going to talk to Guerrero. He's not here. So let's go back to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready at this time to bring up the fighters for the weigh-in for the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of action for the unified WBA, WBC, and Ring Magazine Super Lightweight Championship of the World. Once again brought to you by Golden Boy Promotions and Showtime, as sponsored by Corona and AT&T. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we invite to the stage the defending world champion from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He'll be making the third defense of his title. Please welcome the undefeated WBC, WBA, and Ring Magazine Super Lightweight Champion of the World, Danny Swift Garcia.
All right, looks like Danny Garcia is not on the stage. He's on his way. Now, Danny Garcia and Zab Judah have to make the junior welterweight limit
I'm told
of
Danny
140.
is out from his locker room. In this very heated event, we're going to make sure our two fighters are completely separate. You'll see that they will weigh in completely separately. They will not face off today. They'll face off in the ring on Saturday evening. That has to do with the safety of the fighters in this event, and that's the reality of our situation. Danny Garcia on his way to the stage.
I'll tell you when he's eating.
Well, you heard Jimmy Lennon Jr. talking about all the bad blood there's been between the Judah camp and the Danny Garcia camp. So bad that they actually feel the need to weigh them in separately. No stare down, nothing like that. They're going to weigh in separately and go their own way. They won't be on the stage at the same time. There's been a lot of issues with these two, and everybody wants to see a fight tomorrow night and not today when they're paid to do it and everybody's watching. Showtime Championship Boxing, 9 p.m. Eastern, tomorrow night. So we're waiting for Danny Garcia. Once again, Steve Farhood. Join the conversation on Twitter, if you'd like, about this fight and about tomorrow night's card. And remember also, I'm just being told, hashtag Garcia-Judah, if you want to get to the right spot. And also, don't forget also, tomorrow night, after the Showtime Championship Boxing show, we'll see Amir Khan and Julio Diaz in a critical junior welterweight matchup. That'll be on a special edition of Showtime Championship Boxing, immediately following the Garcia-Judah fight. So we're here at the Barclay Center. Steve Farhood waiting for Danny Garcia. He's somewhere in the building. We're waiting for him to come in and weigh in. And to be honest, Garcia-Judah, a little anticlimactic after what we just saw with Peter Quillin and Fernando Guerrero. In all my years, I don't remember a title fight where both fighters weighed over the limit. So they both have some work to do, and especially Peter Quillin has a pound and a half to take off. All right, we're going to bring in another guest here. Our own Paulie Malignaggi. He's busy talking. Can you imagine Paulie Malignaggi talking? Paulie, come on in. All right, welterweight champion, Paulie Malignaggi. Where are you hiding?
I'm right here.
Just like a fighter, I can't find you.
Yeah.
All right,
A ghost.
you've been through this kind of thing with weight. We saw it with Quillin and with Guerrero. I never remember a fight where both guys were over.
Oh, wow, I didn't see
Guerrero was
came
half a
over too.
pound over as well. So mentally, what does this do for you, especially if you've drained your body already to get to the point where you're still overweight?
Yeah, it depends on how much they've already lost this morning to get to this point, and that will dictate the approach. That will dictate the approach and what they do now post weigh-in. Will they try to make the weight? How hard they'll try to make the weight, or will they just make it a non-title fight? You know, it's got to be a personal decision. I would think Fernando Guerrero, being he's never fought for a world title, wants to fight for a world championship. So I think he'll make weight. Quillin is a pound and a half over, and
a lot.
And it seems like he's a big middleweight. And
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, stepping up to the stage at this time,
we appreciate it. Let's go back to Jimmy.
WBC, WBA, and Ring Magazine Super Lightweight World Champion, Danny Swift Garcia.
All right, Danny Garcia has arrived on this stage here at the Barclay Center. Oscar De La Hoya, Bernard Hopkins here. Danny Garcia, of course, with his somewhat controversial and outspoken father, Angel. And once again, Danny Garcia, one of only 5 fighters in all of boxing today who holds more than one alphabet organization title. He's the WBA and WBC 140-pound champion. So he has to make 140. Once again, Chairwoman Melvina Lathan of New York State Athletic Commission will
and now stepping on
look
to the
at
scale,
the scale along with us.
Champion Danny Swift Garcia. 139.8 pounds for Danny Garcia, 139.8 pounds.
Some cheers, some boos. Danny Garcia has boldly said that he'll have more fans at the Barclays Center than Zab Judah will. And Zab is from Brooklyn. Don't forget Danny Garcia's last fight against Eric Morales was here at the Barclays Center in the initial show at the Barclays. So he probably is slowly building some fan base here in New York as well. And we're going to try to get Danny Garcia over here. He's getting dressed right now. Danny Garcia, this will be his 3rd defense. He's from Philadelphia, record of 25-0, 16 knockouts. He's 25 years old. They're going to feed Danny Garcia some water right now. You see that at every weigh-in because fighters are so dehydrated from trying to make weight. And unlike the middleweights on this card, so far Danny Garcia, the first of 3 fighters to weigh in and actually make weight. Danny Garcia apparently would rather be with the Corona girls than with me. I understand that.
And there is the world champion ready to defend his titles tomorrow night, live on Showtime, the main event. 12 rounds of action against the challenger, Zab Judah. Danny Swift Garcia ready to take on his challenger, weighing in easily under the limit at 139.8 pounds.
All right, I think Danny Garcia is making his way over here after playing to the crowd a little bit. I'm sure he wouldn't mind trying to steal the moment a little bit from Zab Judah. Danny, if we can get you real quick. So the middleweights didn't make weight. You did. How you feeling?
I feel great, man. Like I said, camp went well. I feel 100%. I was really motivated for this camp, and I'm ready to go.
A lot of bad blood between you and Zab, even from the first press conference announcing this fight. How is that going to impact the fight?
All that don't matter now, because now it's time to take them punches. It ain't no more talking. It's just me and him in the ring. That's it.
So is Philadelphia going to steal Brooklyn from the Brooklyn guy?
Philly's in the building, baby. All Philly, all my Boricuas all around the world. It's the takeover. It's the takeover.
Danny, we wish you luck. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Danny Garcia makes weight. WBA and WBC 140-pound champion. And he's here to try to steal Brooklyn from Zab Judah. And now we're going to be waiting for Zab. All right, let's throw it back to Jimmy Lennon Jr. Now he tells us he's not ready. Danny Garcia is being interviewed by ESPN right now. And once again, Steve Farhood here at the Barclay Center in Brooklyn, New York. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, you'll see a big doubleheader on Showtime Championship Boxing. Danny Garcia against Zab Judah, and in a middleweight title fight, which we hope will be a title fight, if they both are able to make weight within the next hour, Peter Quillin and Fernando Guerrero. All right, while we wait for Zab Judah, we're going to try to get another guest up here. These weigh-in broadcasts or show stream broadcasts are fluid, and we go with the flow. They're trying to clear the stage here. As is often the case in boxing, whether it's the ring or a weigh-in stage, there are too many people up here, and many people who don't belong here. Now, the reason there's a delay right here is because the promoter, Golden Boy, and the New York State Athletic Commission want to clear Danny Garcia out of here before Zab Judah comes. There's been a lot of trouble between the two camps. Zab's gotten into it with Angel Garcia, Danny's father. And this doesn't happen too often in boxing. I seem to remember Tyson and Lennox Lewis having to be separated by some kind of big screen when they weighed in. And we do have a special guest. Let's bring him up right here. Cut in front of the camera. You know better than that. Adrien Broner, you're going to be fighting here in Brooklyn against Paulie Malignaggi. The two of you were having a nice little conversation about an hour ago. What were you saying to each other?
You know, I was just going to let him know that I'm going to be fucking you up June 22nd. You know, excuse my language, but, you know, it's real. You know, that's my opponent, and he got to get it.
So what are you expecting in that fight? I mean, there's a lot of emotion already. Paulie's very good at the pre-fight game of gab, and so are you. But it's going to come down to a fight. You're jumping up 2 weight classes from lightweight to welterweight. How's that going to affect you, and what do you see happening in the fight?
The weight's not going to be a problem. You know, at the end of the day, skills win fights, and he can't beat me.
Why jump 2 weight classes? 140 has so many great fighters. Why do you think?
They all got fights. They all had fights coming up. I wasn't going to sit. So I went to 147. See, look, AB, look. You know, I'm still the can man, of course. You know, but you could call me AB, always balling. But, you know, the difference between me and other fighters is, you know, they do what they can. I do what I want. You know, and that's what I wanted to do.
Paulie has a belt. Is that why you chose him? You want that belt?
Of course. I mean, think about it. 3-time world champion, 3 different weight classes at 23. Who've done it?
So what's going to happen? Jumping 2 weights? Do you feel you can hurt Paulie? Do you feel Paulie's on the downside? Do you feel he's in his prime? What kind of guy are you fighting?
It is going to be tough. Paulie's bigger than me, you know, stronger, he's faster.
He's from Brooklyn.
He's from Brooklyn. I'm in his backyard. It's going to be tough.
Somehow you're going to try to win the fight.
I'm going to leave it in God's hands.
Adrien Broner, we appreciate it. We look forward to you fighting Paulie on Showtime in June. Congrats on getting the fight, and welcome aboard to the Showtime family.
It's Showtime.
There you go. Adrien Broner, he'll be fighting Paulie Malignaggi in June. Right now, we're going to take a look at Danny Garcia, I Am a Fighter.
I am Danny Swift Garcia. I'm from Philadelphia, PA.
Growing up in Philadelphia, being a Puerto Rican, as I call it, a Philly Rican, because you're Puerto Rican but you're raised in Philly, we had no role models. We had nobody look on TV and say, hey, he's from Philly, he's Puerto Rican, he did it.
Danny Garcia and the boy from Johannes.
I really started boxing when I was 10. I came into the gym, I was shadow boxing in the mirror. Guy Mike came up to me, he was like, how much fights you got? And I was like, I don't have none. And he was like, you never fought before? You look like you fought before. I was like, my dad just teach me how to fight. And plus, I used to street fight a lot. I had my first amateur fight 2 weeks into the gym. I was just throwing everything. My nose was bleeding, but I won the fight. I knew boxing was for me. I can't explain it. It's just a feeling like, it's a natural feeling you get when you find your talent. When I turned open class in the amateurs, it's like the elite level, I became the national champion, 132-pound national champion for 2 years. My first professional fight, I was more nervous than anything because all the people who had turned pro before said, oh, smaller gloves, there's no t-shirt. So everybody was telling me it hurts and stuff like that. I was nervous, man, I was stiff, but I went in there and knocked the dude out in 1:08 seconds. And I was training my heart out for that fight. I was like, man, he better get up and give me some more work. My first world title fight, which versus Eric Morales. I was the first ever Latino world boxing champion from Philadelphia. A lot of Latino kids come up to me every day and say, man, I look up to you, you're my role model. A lot of parents say, thanks, my kid looks up to you, he wants to box, he wants to do this. I just want to keep winning and setting an example for the young kids in Philadelphia, Latinos around the world, that you could come from rough place and the streets and still become successful. I am Danny Swift Garcia, and I am a fighter.
Danny Garcia battles Zab Judah for the unified super lightweight world title. Saturday, April 27th at 9 p.m. 8 Central, only on Showtime.
All right, we're back at the Barclay Center, and it looks like Zab Judah is on the stage. Let's throw it to our MC, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we're ready to introduce the challenger from Brooklyn, New York. He'll be making his 18th world title appearance. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former four-time two-weight division champion of the world, Zab Super Judah.
Zab Judah has to make 140 pounds.
Zab Judah slightly over the weight limit, but don't forget he was wearing socks, underwear. He's going to strip down, see if the scale will be good to him as he steps onto the scale a second time.
So Zab Judah is going to try it again. He was just over 140, and I'd hate to think that 3 of the 4 fighters in these title fights would be overweight. So Zab is going to take off his socks, and he's getting back on the scale now. Let's see what happens.
Zab Judah weighs in right at the limit of 140 pounds. 140 pounds for Zab Super Judah.
So Zab Judah makes weight, 140 on the button. All it was the socks. And he's been a very interesting career for Zab Judah because he started at this weight, 140. Then he became a welterweight champion, and now he's back to junior welterweight. So he makes 140. 35 years old, who knows if he'll get another chance as he challenges WBA and WBC junior welterweight champion Danny Garcia here in Zab's hometown of Brooklyn at the sparkling new Barclay Center. Steve Farhood, the show stream of the weigh-in for tomorrow night's fight. It'll be on Showtime at 9 p.m. on Showtime Championship Boxing. And as we wait for Zab Judah, once again a reminder that after the Showtime Championship Boxing show, we'll watch Amir Khan and Julio Diaz from England, same-day coverage of that fight as well. So Zab Judah fighting at home here in New York. There's been tons of bad feelings between the camps. That's why you won't see a stare out. Zab Judah weighing in a good 5 minutes after Danny Garcia. Garcia's already out of the building, out of the Barclay Center here, and they brought Zab in because they didn't want to see a fight before the fight. Anything can happen. Somebody can get hurt. Somebody can get cut, and we certainly want to see the fight tomorrow night. So safety was the rule of the day. And Zab continues to get dressed. We have somebody over there that'll bring him over here. And Zab Judah, fascinating career, turned pro at 18, was part of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team. The only other guy active from that team is a guy named Mayweather. So Zab has obviously shown a lot of longevity in his career. He was a world champion by the age of 21 at junior welterweight, and he's fought just about
Zab
everybody.
Almost ready to step up in between our beautiful Corona girls. Photo
Zab's going to
opportunity.
pose, Jimmy tells us.
It's the main event of the evening tomorrow night on Showtime Championship Boxing. 12 rounds of action for the unified WBC, WBA, and Ring Magazine Super Lightweight World Championship.
Seemingly no nervousness from Zab Judah. You wouldn't expect him to be very nervous. He's fought Miguel Cotto. He's fought Floyd Mayweather. He's fought Kostya Tszyu. He's fought just about everybody. Sometimes winning, sometimes losing. At age 35, I'm sure I'll ask him this, and I'm sure he'll say no, but maybe this is his last shot at a world title. It's been a very long and controversial at times career for Zab Judah, but he says this is the new Zab Judah, a much more mature Zab Judah, someone who doesn't take his gifts for granted. And Zab is going to make his way over here now, I believe. Still getting dressed. Once again, to reiterate, neither WBO middleweight champion Peter Quillin nor the challenger Fernando Guerrero made the weight of 160 pounds for their title fight tomorrow night. They're both sweating it out now, literally, trying to make weight. All right, we have the challenger and former world champion Zab Judah. Zab, Brooklyn is most definitely in the house.
Yeah, all day, BK forever, you know that.
All right, this is your house. There's been tons of bad blood, as we've said many times. How does that play into the fight? How does it play into your performance tomorrow?
I don't have no bad blood with nobody. I don't dislike or have a grudge with anybody. You know what I mean? Tomorrow night is a boxing fight. I'm gonna come in there and do what I gotta do and do what I'm known to do, and that's it.
You say there's no bad blood, but you'll notice Danny Garcia is not on this stage staring you out. I am.
But that wasn't my choice. I'm a fighter, and I've been doing the traditional way of weigh-ins, press conferences for 17 years. This is the first time I've ever been in this position, and it's because of my challenger did not want to be up here on this stage with me. It wasn't me. I would have preferred to be face-to-face with him. He didn't want to be up here with Team Judah. You know what I mean? So let everybody know that. It wasn't us, y'all. It was them. They didn't want to be up here face-to-face with us. Always remember, a monkey can never look a lion in the face.
Zab, you're 35 years old. Do you view this as your last chance? Because you can never be sure you're going to get another title shot.
Well, after tomorrow night, I'll be champ of the world. So I look at on my first defense, I'll think about that.
We wish you a lot of luck. What's going to happen tomorrow? Give us a prediction.
Success.
Zab Judah.
That's right.
Thank you, Zab. Good luck.
Keep God first. Keep God first, and anything is possible.
Zab Judah, confident as you would expect a world-class fighter to be. All right, so let's recap. You're going to want to know what happens with the middleweights, Peter Quillin and Fernando Guerrero. Neither one made weight of 160 pounds. Quillin 1.5 pounds over, Guerrero a half pound over. So stay in touch with Showtime's website. Let me make sure I get the, Chris, let me get the address of the website. Sports.show.com. If you go to sports.show.com, you will get an update on what happens when they reweigh in. They have until 2:10 to make weight. That's Quillin and Guerrero. Zab Judah, Danny Garcia in the battle for the junior welterweight title, they both made weight. And Amir Khan and Julio Diaz, we can also report that from England, they made weight, both make 142 pounds. That fight is contracted for 143 pounds. So tomorrow night, after the fights from the Barclays, you'll see Diaz Khan on a special edition of Showtime Championship Boxing. And then next weekend, May 4th, on Showtime pay-per-view, the big one, Mayweather Guerrero. Now let's take a look at some related programming that you can watch about that fight.
Floyd Mayweather has beaten every obstacle in his path.
My mother was on drugs. My dad went to prison.
But his next challenge in the ring has overcome hardships of his own.
I've been through so much in life. He ain't scaring me.
You put him in front of me, I'll beat him.
Mayweather premieres Saturday at 8/7 Central on CBS. On the next All Access, Mayweather versus Guerrero. With a spectacle of fight week upon them, the last of the grueling work is put in. Meanwhile, the war of words continues until the opening bell sounds.
It's my time now. Out with the old, in with the new.
You know, from what I see, he's just a dirty fighter. There's nothing sharp about his fight game. Robert would be real good if he was an MMA fighter.
All Access, Mayweather versus Guerrero, Wednesday at 10/9 Central, only on Showtime. This May 4th, there is one target, the pay-per-view king. Floyd Mayweather is the undefeated pound-for-pound champion, but danger lurks. Robert Guerrero is the relentless, hard-hitting giant killer. Can Mayweather stay undefeated?
It's Mayday.
Mayweather versus Guerrero. Saturday, May 4th at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, live on pay-per-view. It's Mayday. Contact your pay-per-view provider to order.
Steve Farhood here at the Barclay Center. We've had the weigh-in for tomorrow night's show on Showtime Championship Boxing. Tomorrow night, it starts with a documentary on Floyd Mayweather called Mayweather at 8 o'clock on CBS. Don't miss that. Then 9 o'clock on Showtime Championship Boxing, we'll see the junior welterweight title fight between Danny Garcia and Zab Judah, as well as what we hope will be the middleweight title fight, if they can make weight, between the champion Peter Quillin and Fernando Guerrero, followed by same-day coverage from England of the junior welterweight fight between Amir Khan and Julio Diaz. It's a lot of boxing, a lot of great stuff. This has been fun, and we will see you again. Steve Farhood, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow on Showtime.
This man is the reigning king of the light welterweight division. And tomorrow, Danny Garcia defends his 140-pound supremacy against the former undisputed champion of the world, Zab Judah. Danny Garcia versus Zab Judah, plus undefeated middleweight champ Peter Kid Chocolate Quillin versus Fernando Guerrero. Garcia-Judah, Quillin-Guerrero, tomorrow at 9/8 Central, followed by Showtime Boxing Special Edition, Khan versus Diaz, only on Showtime.